Hello and welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to meet the news on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu led other high-profile dignitaries, including members of the diplomatic corps, to the venue of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Abuja. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, an annual event organized by the Ministry of Defense to commemorate the country's fallen heroes who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of humanity during the First and Second World Wars, the Nigerian Civil War, peace support operations around the world, as well as various internal security operations. All service chiefs, led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and heads of other security agencies are at the venue to grace the ceremony. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says President Ahmed Tinubu-led government is focused on ensuring that Nigeria is indivisible entity. He stated this in his remarks at the Interdenominational Church service for the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration held at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Kikelomo Okere has the rest of the story.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says the continued existence of the country lies in its rich cultural, religious, and ethnic diversity. He therefore called on the people to embrace unity, stressing the resolve of the present administration to redouble its efforts in securing the country. Akpabio also asked Christendom and other stakeholders in the Nigerian project to join hands with Tinubu's government as well as the nation's armed forces to tackle the issue that have threatened the coexistence of the country.
I call upon the Church of God to partner with the government of the day in a much-needed rebranding of Nigeria. The Church is urged to continue spreading the gospel of love for oneself and also the gospel of love for one another and our dear country. We must blur the lines that divide us across ethnic and religious boundaries through messages of tolerance, peace, unity, and progress. This administration is more determined than ever to strengthen and promote the oneness and indivisibility of Nigeria because the strength of our great nation lies in our diversity. Once again, let us salute the courage and appreciate the sacrifices of our men and women of the armed forces. Let us stand in solidarity with their families of the fallen heroes and heroines. I assure you that the government of the day will continue to evolve policies to address the challenges you face as a result of your losses.
Earlier in his remark, Archbishop of Abuja African Metropolitan Church, Archbishop Peter Ogumuyiwa, says insecurity persists in Nigeria because past service chiefs lived in affluence while they complained of lack of funds to fight insecurity. Adding that for Nigeria to be well secured, salaries and emoluments of military personnel and security agencies should be paid promptly.
These packages must be paid promptly. The salaries and emolument of the serving officers must also be paid promptly. If we expect that these people should secure our land, we expect so much from them. They say to whom much is expected, much is as well given. So I think we should not take for granted the salaries and emoluments of these wonderful officers, that when we are asleep, they are awake all night, ensuring that we live safely. I pray that the government will do something hastily. I know government is doing, but through budget allocation, the National Assembly should do more to ensure that these men and women that are defending our territory are well taken care of.
Meanwhile, encouraging troops to remain resolute in defeating security threats, Chief of Defense Staff promised to prioritize welfare and uphold his leadership philosophy of nurturing a professional armed forces that is people-centric and capable of meeting constitutional responsibility in a joint and collaborative environment. He assured Nigerians of the armed forces' unalloyed loyalty and commitment to defending the nation's democratic values and ensuring peace and cohesion in the country.
Security agencies cannot do it alone. Everybody must put hands on deck for us to succeed. So we're calling on all Nigerians to continue to support us in all we're doing. We might make mistakes, but they will never be deliberate. And we assure you that the government of the day is giving us all the full support that we require, and we will succeed. 2024 is our year of liberty, and we can guarantee you that we will achieve success.
Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to present Nigeria at the 2024 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum scheduled to hold in Davos, Switzerland. Stanley Nwokocha, the Vice President's spokesman, who announced this in a statement, said Nigeria's number 2 man would join other political and business leaders across the world at the annual forum to discuss global socio-economic and development issues. Top on Vice President Shettima's agenda, apart from the plenary session, is the launch of the Private Sector Action Plan for African Continental Free Trade Area at the special session to be co-chaired by him. He is also billed to hold high-level discussions with the Managing Director of the IFC, Mactar Diop, and the Prime Minister of Vietnam, Pham Minh Chinh, among others. Also on the sidelines of the annual meeting, Senator Shettima will chair a roundtable dialogue on Nigeria's economic path. He will also attend a special session dedicated to building trust in the Global Energy Transition Program. The Vice President is expected to return to Nigeria after participating in the week-long event. President Bola Tinubu on Monday celebrated former Osun State Governor and Chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Chief Bisi Akande, at 85. This was contained in a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity. Akande CFR was the Governor of Osun State from 1999 to 2003 and the first interim national chairman of the All Progressive Congress. Tinubu extolled Akonde's defining principles of integrity, loyalty, truth, and justice, recalling this exemplary leadership, odyssey, and selfless service to Nigeria. Benue State government has commenced the distribution of the fire extinguishers and enforcement of its usage in homes and public places across the state. Governor Hyacinth Alia, while launching the project in Makurdi, said the Nigerian Fire Extinguisher Sticker project was meant to control fire and ensure prompt response to any fire incident. Alia explained that the project was provision for the servicing of fire extinguishers as part of efforts to not only ensure safety but also guarantee employment. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Joseph Alakali, Alia said over 10,000 sustainable employment opportunity would be provided under the project. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has said registration for the 2024-2025 Universal Tertiary Matriculation Examination will begin Monday and end on February 24, 2024. JAMB has also rolled out the registration process for interested candidates across the country. The JAMB Registrar Ishaq Oloide, during a meeting with media executives in Lagos State, said that measures would be put in place to ensure a smooth exercise. Oloyede noted that members of the accreditation team of the CBT centers for the 2024 UTME excluded the chief external examiners, VCs, rectors, and provosts, technical advisors, JAMB state coordinators, and JAMB technical officers. In a related development, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has said persons living with disability who wish to sit for the 2024-2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination can register at no cost. The JAMB Registrar Ishaq Oloyede disclosed this while rolling out the registration process for interested candidates across the country. while announcing that registration for the 2024 matriculation examination will commence on Monday. Oloyede said JAMB will issue free application documents to all categories of persons living with disability as a form of support. Oloyede, who disclosed that measures have been put in place to ensure a smooth exercise for all candidates, said audio books will now be provided for all blind candidates. Some senior advocates of Nigeria and the Coalition of United Political Parties have called for an amendment to the Electoral Act. This came following the judgment delivered by the Apex Court on the Zamfara, Kano, and Plateau governorship election appeals. In addition, Justice John Okoro, who was also on the panel, expressed concern for those who have suffered a miscarriage of justice at the lower court. On its part, the CUPP, in a statement by its National Secretary, Peter Arme, called for the amendment of the Constitution to allow all National Assembly appeals to terminate at the Apex Court. The Rivers State House of Assembly is set to rescreen and reconfirm 9 former commissioners who resigned from the State Executive Council on Wednesday. This was contained in a statement signed by the clerk of the House, Emeka Madi in Port Harcourt. The clerk said the commissioners include Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN, Commissioner for Works, Dr. Diz George Kelly, Commissioner for Special Duties, Emeka Woke, Commissioner for Social Welfare and Rehabilitation, Enime Aguma, Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalu. Others are the Commissioner for Education, Professor Chinedu Mom, Commissioner for Housing, Dr. Gift Nwolu, Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Jobson Mbina, and Commissioner for Environment, Austin Ben Chioma, resigned. The Supreme Court sitting in Abuja will on Monday hear the appeal by the All Progressive Congress candidate in Rivers State, Patrick Tonye Cole, against Governor Simile Fubara, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. Tonye Cole, in his appeal, alleged that Fubara did not resign as Accountant General of the state under the deadline stipulated by the Constitution and the Electoral Act. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas to promptly reduce the National Assembly budget of 344.85 billion naira to reflect the current economic realities in the country. Serap urged them to request President Bola Tinubu to present a fresh supplementary appropriation bill which reflects the reduced National Assembly budget for the approval of the National Assembly. Serap also urged them to promptly publish details of the National Assembly budget of 344.85 billion naira, including the proposed spending details of the 3 billion naira for the Senate car park and 3 billion naira budgeted for the House of Representatives car park. The National Judicial Council, NJC, has clarified that no date has yet been fixed for the swearing-in of the newly appointed 11 justices of the Supreme Court. The council said that the purported news by an Abuja-based media organization suggesting Monday, January 16, for the inauguration of the justices did not emanate from it. A statement by the NJC's Director of Information, Barrister Soji Oye, clarified that neither the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is the NJC chairman, nor the council itself authored or endorsed the purported date. Operatives of the NDLEA recovered 300,000 tramadol pills at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi stated on Sunday in Abuja that the pills were smuggled in from Pakistan. He added that various quantities of tramadol and Indian hemp concealed in soles of sports canvas, shoes, and headed for Oman were also intercepted at two courier firms in Lagos on January 9th. He stated that another consignment of tramadol and Refnol hidden in the spices and headed to the United Kingdom had also been intercepted. Babafemi stated that NDLEA nabbed a 24-year-old man in Katsina on January 10 with 25.5 kilograms of hemp. He explained that the arrest was effected during a buy and burst operation at the Kumi Primary School in Malam Fashi in Katsina State. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nnamdi Azikiwe University have signed a memorandum of understanding to build a weather station at the university. This was according to a statement by NEMET's General Manager, Public Relations, Mutara Ibrahim. The MOU was signed by the Vice Chancellor of the school, Charles Esimone, on behalf of the institution's governing council, while the DG of NEMET, Charles Anosike, signed on behalf of NEMET at their office headquarters in Abuja. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Anosike urged the management of the university to take leadership in downscaling NEMET's annually issued seasonal climate prediction to farmers and other users in Anambra State and beyond. A human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has called on the Nigerian police to conduct proper investigations into the case of brutality against lawyers in Lagos State. Falana made the call during a peaceful protest organized by members of the Nigerian Bar Association Lagos against the unlawful arrest and detention of a lawyer, Olumide Sonupe, by the police in the state. The lawyers, who are members of about 5 branches of the NBA, marched from Eti-Keja Secretariat, from displaying banners to the command headquarters, where the State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayode, addressed them. You're watching the Midday News live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global Television NG, showing on your screen. When Midday News returns, Taiwan's president-elect vows to defend island from China threats. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. On the foreign scene, Donald Trump is expected to be back in court Tuesday in New York for a civil case in which he has already been found liable for sexually abusing and defaming the writer Jean Caro. A jury in May of last year concluded that Trump sexually assaulted her in the dressing room of a New York department store in 1996. It awarded her around $2 million for the assault and $3 million for the defamation over Trump's remark in 2022, calling her claim a complete con job. Tuesday's trial will address how much Trump should be forced to pay for separate remarks he made about Carroll in 2019. As president, she is seeking $10 million in damages. Counterfeit products, mainly clothes, cost the European economy 16 billion euros a year and results in nearly 200,000 lost jobs, the European Union's Intellectual Property Office said Tuesday. The findings, based on data from 2018 to 2021, show that fakes takes the biggest toll on the clothing sector, costing 12 million euros, about $13.1 billion annually, or 5.2% of its overall revenues, the agency said. Fake cosmetics account for 3 billion euros of losses, while toys represent 1 billion euros, though the EU cautioned the counterfeiting, like any illegal activity, cannot be accurately measured. It based its findings on the number of items seized by police, as well as the percentage of Europeans who admitted to buying counterfeit products in each country in the bloc. Torrential rains that turned avenues into rivers killed at least 11 people in Rio de Janeiro. The rainstorm hit northern parts of Rio particularly hard, where people died in a landslide, drownings, and electrocutions. Firefighters were still searching for a woman who went missing after her car fell into a river as of Sunday evening. Water from the storm reached the roofs of cars in some stretches of Avenida de Brazil, a major thoroughfare in the city. Mayor Eduardo Paes decreed the situation an emergency and urged their own safety, people to stay home for their own safety, and so as not to disrupt rescue and recovery efforts. A national agency that monitors natural disasters said there was a high risk of landslides in 8 towns in the surrounding Rio de Janeiro state. Hundreds of thousands of people in France's Indian Ocean island of Reunion hunkered down in their homes under the strict lockdown on Monday as a devastating storm that has already left 1 dead started to rip along its north. Cyclone Belal hit Reunion, one of France's overseas territories that span the globe from the Caribbean to the Pacific, moving in from the northwest, packing extreme winds, according to France's National Weather Service, Meteo France. Initial damage had been moderate, but 1 homeless person who had not taken shelter died as a result of the storm in the western settlement of St. Gilles. In preparations for the gusty winds, authorities initially hoisted the violet level alert, indicating imminent danger at 6 a.m., putting all 870,000 inhabitants, including the emergency service, on strict lockdown. In business, as more multinational companies exit Nigeria over exchange rate volatility, economics and other investment analysts fear that more businesses may face similar fate as the amount of banks deposit with the Central Bank of Nigeria, otherwise known as cash reserve ratio, soared by 45.51% in 9 months to September 2023, citing the impact of high cash reserve requirement, debt on banks' ability to lend the manufacturing sector. They charged the new leadership of the CBN to put machinery in place to stabilize the exchange rate, as well as the fiscal situation to lower the CRR and ease its debilitating impact on the economy. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says the federal government is set to establish a new 330 kV power substation in Ibadan. Adelabu disclosed this during his nationwide tour on power facilities in the area on Monday, adding that the federal government's intention to upgrade and modernize the 46-year-old Ayede Power Substation in Ibadan for improved performance. The establishment of the new 330 kV power substation will help